Everybody, Mr. Nunley with two pieces of good news here today. Number one, we are only going to do 3 pages of this lesson. We're not going to do that last page, kind of like how we do it in class, mostly because it's not really that important in this particular lesson. It's just one really long, drawn-out problem that you're not really going to see or really need to work out that much. You're welcome to try it. You can do it. It's easy, but it's not necessary. Another piece of good news, this is the easiest one we have because we are only dealing with 3 units for weight, and that is ounces, not fluid ounces, but ounces, pounds, which is lb, and tons. So, these are the 3 that we're going to be dealing with. So, a pound equals 16 ounces, and a ton equals 2,000 pounds. Let me slide that over there. So you just need to know those measurements. The ounces, there's 16 ounces in a pound and 2,000 pounds in a ton. And by golly, that is all you need to know for this one. You still know it's the same thing if you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. Like if you're going from ounces to pounds, you divide. If you're going from a bigger to a smaller, like tons to pounds, then you multiply. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get this started. So, Hector's school is having a model rocket contest. To be in the contest, each rocket must weigh 4 pounds or less. Without any paint, Hector's rocket weighs 62 ounces. If Hector wants to paint his rocket, what is the weight of the most paint he can use? So, let's see what we know. We know 1 pound is 16 ounces. We know that the rocket must weigh 4 pounds or less. So, we also know that his rocket right now weighs 62 ounces. So, let's see what that limit is. If we're going to find out how much paint he can use, we need to find out how much weight he can have for his rocket. It says it has to be 4 pounds or less. Let's see how many ounces that's going to be. So, because there's 16 ounces in a pound, we'll multiply the number we have, which is 4, times 16. 6 times 4 is 24. Oh man, I did this a silly way. Carry your 0, 1, 4, 64. So, the limit for his rocket is 64 ounces. And he already has 62 ounces. So what are we going to have to do to figure out how much paint he can use? Well, you're going to have to subtract. If the limit is 64 ounces and he has 62, then 2 ounces is all that he can add for paint. And that's what you're going to be doing a lot for these. You're going to be converting your units, and it's almost always easier to go from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. So if you have the option to, I'd highly recommend that, but sometimes you can't. So I'm going to finish up this page with you, and then I'm going to toss you all out on your own. These aren't too bad. So each rocket for a U.S. space shuttle weighs 292,000 pounds. How many tons does each rocket booster weigh? So what we need to do is we need to convert our pounds to tons. Since pounds are smaller than tons, we are going to divide. We're using a smaller unit to get to a bigger unit, and since there's 2,000 pounds in there, we're going to have to divide by 2,000. So that is not going to be an issue. What we need to do now is we need to divide our 1,292,000 by 2,000. So let's go ahead. We can do 1, 2, 9, 2, 0, 0, 0 divided by 2,000. So I know it looks like a lot, but do not let this problem fool you. It is not that hard. You just need to do this like any other division problem. So how many times will 2,000 go into each of these things? Well, 1, it won't. How about 12? Nope. 129? Nope. 1,292? Nope. How about 12,920? There we go. It'll go into it 6 times. And it'll give us 12, 1, 2, 3. So now we subtract. And you will get 92. So you'll have 920 left over if you subtract 12,920 by 12,000. So then you drop down your 0. So how many 2,000s will go into 9,200? Well, that is going to be what? How many 2,000s can go into it? Hopefully you said 4. And hopefully we're seeing how easy this problem really can be. It looks really overwhelming at first, but it's not that hard. Now we drop down our last 0. And how many times will 2,000 go into 12,000? 6 times. That gives us 0. So that means that it's going to be 646 tons. All that we had to do there is we divided that number that we were starting out with by 2,000. And I get it, that sounds crazy. That sounds really hard at first. But it's really not that bad. Alright, so let's keep on trucking along. Number 1, use the picture to complete each equation. Well, apparently this is supposed to be a picture of a pound, and then those are your 16 ounces inside there. Beautiful. So if we're going from 1 pound, how many ounces is that going to be? We should already know that. Top of our head, 16. Since we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, we multiply. So 2 pounds is just 2 times 16, which is 32. Bet you all are noticing a pattern. 48, 64, 80. You're just multiplying whatever that number is by 16 to find out how many ounces there will be. Sometimes, however, it's not always going to be in order like that. So let's check on 2, 3, and 4. I am going to do these with you, and then I'm going to kind of toss you on your own. So 15 pounds. There's 16 ounces in a pound, so 15 times 16. 6 times 5 is 30. Give you a 9. Drop down your 0. 5, 1. So 240. 15 pounds is 240 ounces. 3 tons. Well, we know that there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. We're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, so we multiply. So 6,000 pounds. And finally, with number 4, 320 ounces to pounds. We are going ounces to pounds, so we're going to need to divide because we're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So we can divide that. 16 will go into 32 twice. 0, drop down your 0, and 16 goes into 32 0 times. So 320 ounces is just 20 pounds. All right, so go ahead. What I want for you all to do are numbers 5 through 10. I am going to show you, well, actually, you know what? I'll show you number 11, and then you can also do 12 through 16. So for number 11, again, take that bigger unit and make it a smaller unit. So we have 8 pounds. So 8 pounds times 16, because you are going to be making it into, wow, my pound and my 16 look almost identical. How about we just do this? 8 times 16. Just to see how many ounces we're going to have. and that will give us 128 ounces. Once you have the same unit, you can compare them. Alright, so 5 through 16 is what I want you all to do, and then I'll get you all started on 17 through 19 after that. So, solve those problems. Go ahead and pause the video and unpause it whenever you are done. And here is the answers for those problems. I circled them for 5 through 10, and then of course I just put them inside of the boobles for these problems. Let's see here. There we go. Now I got them all. So you can check that out. I've got my work over to the right or below if you're not sure how I got something. So go ahead, check your work. What I'd suggest you do is pause it here because I'm about to erase all of this, and then I'm going to show you how to get started on 17 through 19. So I'll give you a chance to take a look and see how you did. All right, eraser time. Whee! Look at it go, look at it go, look at it go. Yeah, yeah. All right, it's probably good for now. So we are going to look at 17 through 19, and then we'll be done with this one. So Bill has a bike that weighs 56 pounds. Magda has a bike that weighs 52 pounds. She adds a bell and a basket to her bike. The bell weighs 12 ounces and the basket weighs 2 pounds and 8 ounces. So does Magda's bike with its new bell weigh more? So let's list out what we know. We can do this one sentence at a time. Bill is 56 pounds. His bike, of course. Magda has 52 pounds. And then she also has a bell that weighs 12 ounces and a basket which weighs 2 pounds and 8 ounces. So you're going to need to see which one weighs more. Remember, if you're going to add these units, you have to convert them all to the same thing. What I would always suggest is taking your bigger units and making them smaller. So I would suggest converting all of these to ounces to see whose weighs more. And I'll give you a hint for the basket. Since you have 2 pounds and 8 ounces, just convert that 2 pounds, and then you can add it to the 8 ounces. So if you do that, we know there's 16 ounces in a pound, so 2 times 16 equals 32. And then you add those 8 ounces, which is 40 ounces. Her bell is 12 ounces, so we can go ahead and add that. So that combination is 52 ounces. So right now she's working with 52 pounds and 52 ounces, and you need to see if that's going to be more or less than Bill's 56. And I'll let you all solve that on your own. So for number 18, and I'll drag it back over here, Radha has a 5-pound bag of clay. Her craft requires 5 ounces of clay for each batch of 6 ornaments. If she uses all the clay, how many ornaments can she make? So you need to find out how many ounces you have there. You know that she has 5 pounds. So you need to find out how many ounces she has. How many ounces does she have there? And then it says that it's 5 ounces to make 6. So you'll divide whatever that is by 5. And then you'll multiply it by 6 because you make 6 ornaments out of it. Number 19, Ellis used 48 ounces of rye flour in a bread recipe. Write an expression you could use to find out how many pounds. So you just need to find out how many pounds that they're going to use and write the problem. Not too bad. So Kevin uses 36 ounces of dried apples and 16 ounces of dried cranberries to make a fruit snack. He plans to sell the snack in half-pound containers. How many containers will he fill, and will any fruit snack be left over? So, I'll give you a hint for this one. If we add those 36 ounces of apples and 18 ounces of dried cranberries, we'll get 54 ounces. So, if you have 54 ounces, you need to see how many 1/2 pound containers that will be. So you need to find out how many ounces are in 1/2 of a pound. So see if you can figure that out. All right. So I am going to pause the video. I want you all to work these out, and then you can resume and I will work them out to help you out. All right. So if it is playing now, either you are being a dirty trickster and you're trying to pull one over on me. Well, I can't do anything if you are. Or you are already finished. So let's see how you did. So we have 52 ounces and 52 pounds for Magda. So we know that there are 16 ounces in a pound. So we can divide that 52 by 16. If we do that, we will get 3, which is 48, and you'll have 4 left over. So that means if you add her 52 pounds, which is what she had originally, plus 3 pounds and 4 ounces, then you'll get 55 pounds and 4 ounces. So, no, 55 pounds and 4 ounces is less than 56 pounds. All right, so for number 18, let's see how we did for this. Hopefully you took my advice. It says it takes her 5 ounces to make 6 ornaments. So let's see how many ounces she has here. 5 times 16, that is going to give us 80. So that means she has 80 ounces and she's using 5 ounces to make a batch. So 80 divided by 5 is going to give us 16. So that means that they made 16 batches. 16 batches. So in each batch there is 6 ornaments. To find out how many ornaments there are, we need to do 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So 96 ornaments. 96 ornaments. Number 19, Ellis used 48 ounces of rye. You need to see how many pounds. Well, 48 ounces divided by 16 equals, that's right, 3 pounds. So that would be your expression. And finally, number 20. So we've got 54 ounces. But how can we find out how many 1/2 pound containers that will be? Well, we know there's 16 ounces in a pound. So if we just divide that in half, you get 8. So that means 1/2 of a pound is 8 ounces. So let's see how many 1/2 pound containers we're going to have. 8 will go into 54 6 times, with a remainder of 6. So they would have 6 1/2 pound containers with 6 ounces left over. All right. So hopefully you all got that. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you for all that you've done, and keep up the great work, everybody. I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. All right, if you have any questions, as usual, comment, send them to me, email, call, Zoom, whatever you need to do. Just keep it 212 and stay safe. Nunley out.